Hi there. This is Jenna Ross from Spiritually Savage, and I am a medium, channeler, psychic, card reader, and spiritual mentor, guide, help, aid, information giver, whatever it is that you want to call me. Thank you for being here with us today. I super appreciate all your subscribes and likes and shares and all the comments and feedbacks I'm getting back. I know that I have not done videos in 2 days. The energy right now is really, really, really intense. And I know that many of you are seeking guidance and looking for helps and just wanting to dump. And so most of the readings and things like that I am posting are collective readings. So you should take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But if you are looking for private readings, personal readings, or help and needing supports along your spiritual journey, there is a link below in the description box. So please hit me up and I will help you the best that I can. I also am doing text and messenger support right now for people who cannot afford coaching or who don't know if that's what they need or want. And it is great for, oh my God, I'm in the middle of this situation and I know the information, but I don't know how to implement it in my real life. How does that look like in my real life? I also get those messages that are like, I need to reframe this right now and change my perspective. I need to just dump. I need somebody to hold space for me. I need somebody to pull one card for me. Those kinds of things. So I do have text and messenger supports as an option if you are not interested in full-on coaching. So if you're interested in that, please hit me up, find me on one of my socials, or message me and we can talk about that. Or you can schedule an interview for coaching and we can talk about all of that. I'd love to meet you face-to-face and hear how you think I can help you or how I resonate. I wanted to speak about something serious today because I feel like we've underestimated some things. I feel like for those of us who are healers and have been doing this for a really long time, have been on our spiritual journey for a really long time, and have stepped into the role of supporting others and inspiring others and helping others to understand and support, are all in a little bit of a standstill right now. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, we are asked to stand down right now and to wait. The messages from Spirit used to come. And then if you understand that there's a plan, then you have to understand that the other side has a plan to derail the plan. Do you understand? You can look at it as good versus evil. Some people believe that there is no evil, but I'm going to tell you this right now. There is no such thing as good without evil. There is no such thing as positive without negative. There is no such thing as high vibration without low vibration. You have to have a balance. So there's no such thing as having good without evil. It just isn't. That's not the way anything in the universe works. There's a yin and a yang. There's a balance. There's a scale. And you have to have something to counterbalance. So if you believe that we are all headed towards ascension, you have to understand that there are powers out there that are not interested in us ascending because it causes them to lose control. If you want to look at it like the Matrix, you can call it the Mr. Smiths of the world. They don't want the Neos of the world to get their message out and to wake people up. It does not suit their purpose. Even if you look at it as an internal process, your ego and your programming does not want you to awaken. Okay? It fights that with everything. And even after you awaken, it works incredibly hard and diligently at trying to convince you that you're crazy, trying to convince you to go back to the mainstream, trying to convince you to feed back into the propaganda, to feed back into the normal, to not make yourself stick out and be weird. Even when we moved into a belief that people were unique, it was like people were unique just like everybody else, because you still needed to conform to the agenda, because we don't need people rising up and stating that things are not the way that they should be. Throughout history, you've always had people that stood up and announced things that were wrong, pointed out things that were wrong, pointed out things that needed to be relearned. We called them conspiracy theorists until we called it common knowledge. You know, these were the people that, you know, created the theories that we understand now, gravity, you know, those kind of things. They were all crazy people. Excuse me. They were all people who were nuts. They were all people. Sorry, I had to sneeze again. Whew, spirit tinkering with my nose. That happens sometimes when I'm speaking, channeling, listening. Some of my little senses get out of whack. So the other day I got a strong message from Spirit about, and I posted it. It was the video, be in love with your character and not your storyline. And steeping yourself in your character, because right now identity is in question. People's lives are being changed in a real way. And everything that we staked our identity in is becoming in question. And people are in heavy identity crisis. The masculine collective is in panic. And just some of them are just cutting and running. And I mean, they have fought decisions that they needed to make for a really long time. And all of a sudden they are just blowing up their lives, packing their shit and leaving. Jobs, relationships, situations, their lives, and just going. A lot of masculines are like that. They make a decision, and once they make a decision, they're all in. And some of you may not identify yourself as a divine masculine, but that is the situation the collective divine masculines are in. I am a divine feminine in my connection, and I'm very much like that. Once I make a decision, I can't. Once I know what Spirit wants me to do, what my soul wants me to do, I have to do it right then. I cannot. To me, there's no point in dragging it out and causing more pain for myself, for other people. I just do it immediately, without question, without hesitation. And that's how I've lived my life for most of my life. The feminine collective right now is very much in a either we are in panic and understand that we've avoided dealing with some things, very much so, and we're desperately seeking help now and pulling the trigger and getting help, or we're in that phase where it's like we don't care. We don't care. We feel that everything that we've been working for means nothing right now, and we just don't care. So there's a giant divide right now in the collective between I don't care and everything that I have been entertaining my mind with and thinking was important every day, my bills, my job, you know, my relationship, all of the things I've been filling my mind with don't matter anymore. There's bigger things at play, so I don't care. And I am disillusioned a little bit. And the people that are desperately clinging to the programming and anything that looks like it's normal for their identity. I explained it to a client the other day as this. You are a tent. And in order to ground yourself, a lot of the times we put stakes into the ground. And each stake is a piece of something that we consider a part of our identity. Our religion or our spiritual beliefs are one stake, could be one stake. Our relationship, and I'm so-and-so's partner. I'm in this relationship. I am a piece of this puzzle. That could be your other piece. I am so-and-so's parent. I am, an animal lover. I am a vegan. I am, a healer. I am a this. And we have all these stakes in the ground to hold this tent down. And when something happens, a tower falls, water rushes through, a storm blazes and pulls the tent up and pulls all of these things out of the ground. We have this identity crisis. But the thing that we don't understand is the tent is still the tent. You are still you without all those pieces, without being a parent, without being in that religious association, without being in that relationship. You are still you. So figure out who you are. I did that video the other day because there was a heavy, heavy push from my soul, and I channeled it very directly about being in love with your character. It's a video that some of you resonated with heavily. I heard back from many of you and on feeling that. And then this morning, I recognized how quickly the alternate plan is ready to counteract what Spirit has to say. Because this morning I got a notification from Reddit and a Reddit stream, and I was looking at something that I guess it thought I would be interested in. And we get these signs and we get information when we need it. And one of the comments underneath of the stream said, main character syndrome is in full effect and we need to be careful of it because it promotes selfishness and is about narcissism and destroying society as it is. I'm going to be very clear. Society as it is not healthy. It is not set up for what we're meant to be here for. It is set up for oppression and for quelching growth and healing and pushing forward of the collective. And I also found it was very interesting that it tacked on a lot of buzzwords that people are feeling, some way about. Because narcissist is not something that empaths want to be. It's not something that healers want to be. And I'm going to tell you this really just as somebody who, has therapy training and worked in mental health for many years. Narcissism is very rare. Being a shitty human is very common. And what most people view as narcissism is not narcissism. It is just shitty human behavior. It is just normal, shitty human behavior. And we tack on that label of narcissism because it is a word that elicits a certain feeling within you, just like gaslighting, just like trigger, just like, a million other things that they are trying to take out of a therapy setting and implement into layman's terms to make you feel a certain way. It is also propaganda, brainwashing, and training you and using your spirituality to do that. There is a lot of spiritual bypassing and garbage in spirituality that is all still part of the propaganda to catch spiritual people and cause confusion and keep them from listening to their soul. So you are the main character in your story. You are the most important person in your story. You are the most important person in your life because without you, there isn't any of that. If you are not the main character in your story, then your story would still continue without you. Your story does not continue without you. Your story ends without you. Now, people may remember you, your memory may continue, your inspiration may continue, but you are the person that you need to focus on. That does not make you selfish. You focusing on your healing, along with everybody else focusing on their own healing, is how we all collectively come together and change the world. You people-pleasing and thinking that somebody else's healing is more important than yours, somebody else's health is more important than yours, somebody else's beliefs is more important than yours, is how the collective becomes enslaved. We are all incredibly important together, but we are only strong as our weakest links. And our weakest links need to learn to look at themselves and heal themselves and stop blaming other people and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Okay? You have got to self-care. Because if you've ever watched other people take care of other people's needs to the point where they just collapse and die, and then all these other people either find other people to live off of or find other people to provide for their needs, you weren't necessary. You were just being used because you were willing. I think I said in one of my other videos, toxic people, parasites, energy vampires, narcissists, whatever you want to call them, they're not drawn to you. They're not picky. They're drawn to everybody. The propaganda and the brainwashing that we go through, the programming, the ego, whatever you want to call it in this life, it's not drawn to you. It's an opportunist. It throws its net out, and whoever it catches, that's who it latches onto. There are some people that are just like, I'm not part of that. And they walk on. So it leaves them alone for the time being until it needs to attack those people. Excuse me. Whew, the words are strong today. So it is our responsibility to heal us and to stop looking at everybody else and considering everything everybody else's responsibility. It is our responsibility. Our healing is our responsibility. Our boundaries are our responsibility. What so-and-so did to us is of no consequence. It's no concern. We don't worry about what other people are doing. If you don't like it, put a boundary up. We are in a place right now where we are hermiting. There's a lot of us going into our shells and hermiting and not being able to handle the BS that is going on and not being able to tolerate people that cannot create their own self-awareness and also cannot follow instructions or cannot do the work. It is a waste of energy at this point to try to wake up some of the sleepers. And so it is more about joining with the lions, your other healers, the other people that are working on the actual mission and moving forward. It is about entrenching yourself in your character and finding out who that character is deep down without all the societal programming, all the things that we have believed ourselves that we need in order to have a productive and enthralled life. Things like our relationships, things like our job, things like our, businesses, our careers, this is all going away. And these things are all asking us, what is your purpose? What is your mission? Who does your soul say that you are? And do you believe it? This is a serious, serious thing that we need to be focused on. Who are you? If the answer is a mom or a trash man or this, I want to ask you to really dig deep, journal, meditate, converse with your soul. Who are you without those things? If your soul was removed from you today, if you left this life and your soul was just pulled from your body and it was over to the side, who is it without all your human connections? Because the world we live in right now is changing, and we are being asked to give up a lot of these things that our human has been attached to. So who is your soul if you remove your human? I think this is a very important thing for everybody to really look into and to really dig deep and find out what your mission is and why you are here. Because I think that we've distracted ourselves with a lot of really human things for a while. And now that these human things are being removed from us, there's a serious identity crisis. Why now, your roots, you need to be entrenching yourself in who you are as a soul. And so I want to challenge you this week to really look into who your soul is. What does it contribute to the collective? And what is it here to create? Because we are in spiritual warfare, and that spiritual warfare is starting to bubble out into physical warfare. And I think we all need to be prepared. And when I say those things, sometimes people say, what should I be doing? What should I be stockpiling? How should I be prepping? How should I be doing this? And the most important thing that you need to be doing is mental preparation and fortifying your soul, because it doesn't matter what skills and what gifts you have if you can't mentally get through this. We are all called to be here. If you are here right now and you are awakened, you chose to be here. Your soul chose this as a mission, and I thank you for it, because it's not an easy one. But I honor your path, and I thank you for being here. But we need to armor up. And when we armor up, we need to be so entrenched in who our soul is that it becomes who we are as a physical. And so right now, I want to challenge you to integrate your soul into your life, every area of it. Integrate your soul into your body till your higher self is how you're living every single day. Make it your default settings. And if you have questions about certain things about that and certain things on how to do that, I would be happy to share some information or work through it with you. But making your soul your default is going to be how you get through this next chapter of spiritual warfare. And I want to challenge you, because you were made to be here. You were made for this. You can totally handle the pressure. I know some of you are paralyzed right now and feeling the pressure and on edge and everything. But making your soul who you are is going to be paramount. And I will talk to you soon.